In 2008, the most trusted man on Wall Street confessed to the largest financial crime in history. $65 billion gone. Not stolen in the night, not hacked from a server, taken in broad daylight for nearly 20 years by a man who was once chairman of the Nasdaq stock exchange. His name was Bernie Madoff. And the most terrifying part of this story is not what he did. It's that someone tried to stop him for 9 years and nobody listened. This is the story of the greatest financial fraud in history and the hunt that almost never happened. Bernard Lawrence Madoff built his reputation over decades. He founded his investment firm in 1960, starting with $5,000. He saved from working as a lifeguard and installing sprinkler systems. By the 1980s, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities was one of the most respected firms in the country. Madoff helped pioneer electronic trading. He sat on regulatory boards. He was respected, connected, and above suspicion. His investment advisory arm was the crown jewel, a private, exclusive operation that supposedly delivered consistent returns of 10 to 12% every single year, year after year, in bull markets and bear markets alike. Wealthy families trusted him with their life savings. Charities trusted him with endowments. Banks across Europe funneled billions into his fund. Nobody questioned it. After all, this was Bernie Madoff. His investment operation ran from the 17th floor of the Lipstick Building in Midtown Manhattan. Clients never visited. They didn't need to. The statements came every month, perfectly formatted. Steady gains. No matter what the market did, what those statements didn't show was that the 17th floor held something else entirely. Not investments, not trades, not securities. Just a room full of people generating fake paperwork. In the year 2000, a financial analyst named Harry Markopolos sat down with a simple assignment: figure out how Bernie Madoff was generating his returns, so his own firm could replicate the strategy. Within 4 hours, Markopolos had his answer. It was mathematically impossible. The options market that Madoff claimed to be using didn't have enough volume to support a fund his size. The strategy he described, called split strike conversion, could not produce the returns he was showing. Not consistently, not without cheating. Markopolos went to the SEC with his findings. They ignored him. He went back in 2001. Ignored. He submitted a 17-page detailed report in 2005 titled, "The World's Largest Hedge Fund is a Fraud," outlining 29 separate red flags. The SEC received it, opened a case, investigated, not Madoff's investment, advisory arm, but his legitimate broker-dealer business upstairs. They found 3 minor violations. They closed the case. In 2007, Markopolos tried again. Ignored. Meanwhile, on the 17th floor, Madoff's employees were printing fake trade confirmations, backdating fictitious stock purchases, and mailing falsified statements to thousands of clients who had no idea their money was sitting in a single Chase bank account, not invested in anything at all. From 1986 to 2008, that Chase account received $150 billion in deposits. The balance rarely exceeded $5 billion. The rest had been spent. In September 2008, the global financial system began to collapse. The stock market fell. Investors panicked. And for the first time in decades, people wanted their money back. Redemption requests flooded in. $7 billion in a single month. Madoff scrambled to find new investors to cover the withdrawals. He called banks in Europe. He reached out to old contacts. He found nothing. The machine he had run for nearly 2 decades had only one way to survive: new money in, old money out. And the new money had stopped coming. On the evening of December 10th, 2008, Bernie Madoff called his sons, Mark and Andrew, into his apartment on the Upper East Side. He told them everything: the investments, the statements, the returns, all of it, fabricated, every single trade, every single gain, every single account balance. He told them it was one big lie. That night, Mark and Andrew Madoff called a lawyer. The lawyer called the FBI. The next morning, December 11th, 2008, two federal agents knocked on Bernie Madoff's door. He didn't run, he didn't deny it, he let them in. The scale of what investigators found was staggering. When the FBI arrived at the 17th floor, Madoff had promised them 30 to 50 boxes of evidence. They found 10,000 boxes, fake trade records, backdated confirmations, client statements going back decades, all fabricated. The total amount missing from client accounts, nearly $65 billion. The victims weren't just the wealthy. Charities lost their entire endowments. A Holocaust survivors fund was wiped out. Thousands of retirees lost everything they had saved over a lifetime. Elie Wiesel's foundation, gone. One of Madoff's own sons, Mark, took his life in December 2010, 2 years, to the day after his father's arrest. His brother Andrew died of cancer 4 years later, maintaining until the end that he had no knowledge of the fraud. On March 12, 2009, Bernie Madoff stood in a federal courtroom and pleaded guilty to 11 felony counts: securities fraud, money laundering, perjury, theft. He was sentenced to 150 years in prison. He died behind bars in April 2021 at the age of 82. Harry Markopolos testified before Congress in 2009. He told them he had handed the SEC a roadmap. Names, dates, mathematical proof, everything. They needed to stop Bernie Madoff in 2000, in 2001, in 2005, in 2007. The SEC's own Inspector General confirmed it. In 9 years of warnings, this agency never once conducted a proper examination of Madoff's investment advisory business. By the time the FBI finally walked through that door, an estimated $14 billion in real money had vanished. Trustees have spent over a decade clawing it back. Nearly $15 billion has been recovered and returned to victims. $50 billion remains unaccounted for. Bernie Madoff stole from thousands of people over nearly 2 decades, not because he was invisible, not because the fraud was impossible to detect, because no one with the power to stop him ever chose to look.